I do have a favorite dad joke. How do you know if a joke is a dad joke? It's a parrot.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm Lavroff. I'm a chef in the Okanagan. Have been for a while. I have a high focus on really walking the walk and talking the talk when it comes to local food, and using like almost exclusively local suppliers for just about everything. I have a 4-year-old son named River, and he is the light of my whole life. That little boy is, I'm very lucky. He's a lot of fun, he's very silly, he's very, very well behaved. It's just a dream, it's the best. And getting to spend a lot more time with him lately, it's just been really, really special. Yeah. My favorite thing to cook at home, basically the only time I do cook at home is when I have my son with me. So my favorite thing to cook at home is whatever he wants to eat. And it's usually something like mac and cheese. But I like to do it with him, and I like to cook with him and teach him how I do things in the kitchen. And he's always in the kitchen cooking with me, doing little activities, and whatever he feels like eating is my favorite thing to cook at that time. So just lots of fresh veggies, lots of healthy foods for him, and sometimes we spoil him with some treats and things like that. It's a lot of fun. I live in Glenmore, in Kelowna, and very, very happy to be there. It's really great with my son. The place I've just moved to is in the same area that I grew up in, so I can take him to the same parks I played in when I was a kid. It's sharing those experiences is really great. What am I going to cook today? I'm going to cook simple seafood dishes, what I like to call mostly one-pan wonders, which will save your butt in the kitchen when you're very busy. And the goal is to do dishes that you can do from home, and really impress your friends and family, and like give everybody a lot of joy and happiness with simple food. And you can still get a ton of like delicious, amazing, super fresh seafood at Codfather's. And so if you're getting sick of ground beef, and you can go there and pick up some seafood and really spice up the dinner. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Alex Lavroff. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make one of my favorite dishes, Spanish prawns. It's a one-pan wonder. You can make this in like 10 minutes and blow everybody's mind. It's just like pure flavor. The first thing that we have here, if you want to take a look, is our jumbo prawns. You can also use any type of prawn. I just think these are a little bit more fun for this dish because I like to keep the shell on because it's going to give you a little more of a flavor boost at the very end from the shells roasting in the oven. The first thing we're going to do, not only for presentation but also to devein the prawns, is we're going to split the shell down the back on all the prawns. And then we're just going to take our knife and we're going to cut a little bit into the prawn all the way down. And you can see here that there's it's called the vein. It's just a part of the prawn that you don't want to eat. It's actually really, it's prawn poo, let's be real. But we're going to take that out so nobody has to eat it. And you just take the tip of your knife and you just take it out into a little bowl of water. And then you have a nice clean prawn right there. What you're going to need And what's great about this dish is you can add or subtract these things. This is what I'm using that we have available to us here. I have almonds, butter, canned tomato, garlic, shallot, jalapeno, and tomato. For this dish, I like to keep the shallots very rough chop. So we just split the shallot in half with the peel on. And we just yank the peel off, just like that. We just put our shallot down, we keep the root on, take a very sharp knife, and we're just going to sliver the shallot down like this. For this dish, it's all about being very rustic, so it doesn't need to be fancy or fine, just nice and thin. The garlic, usually I like to finely chop garlic as well. For this dish, I like it slivered and let everyone know there's lots of garlic in their dish. So we're going to take 2 cloves of garlic, and we're just going to lay it on its side, and we're just going to sliver the garlic. Okay, the tomato. For the tomato, we're just going to rough chop it. We want it chunky. I'm just going to cut it in half. Take out the green stem. Let's chop it up just like this. You don't need a lot of tomato. It's just again for more flavor. Usually I de-seed the jalapeno, but for this dish, again, to keep it really simple and really easy, we're just going to slice it very thin, just a few slices. Don't worry about de-seeding it. Don't worry about taking the white out. We're just going to go like this, and then we have a really nice heat flavor for the dish. If you have saffron at home, saffron is also very, very nice in this dish. We are going to use tequila. You can use white wine, you can use champagne. My favorite is Pernod for this dish. You can use pretty much any kind of alcohol you want. The next step is canned tomato. You can use crushed tomatoes, or you can crush them yourself, which is what we're doing. I'm just going to roughly chop this plum tomato here, and we're going to keep lots of the liquid from the can. That's going to be, that's going to be the main part of our sauce. So, low heat. The most important thing is that everything is relatively cold in the pan, and then you're going to finish everything in the oven in one pan together. By the time all the butter's melted and everything's warmed up, the prawns are going to be perfectly cooked. So the first step is we lay our prawns in the pan, again on very, very low heat. And then we're just going to build flavor. So we're going to add our shallots. We're going to add a lot of garlic. And just break it up with your fingers, the slivers. And also, it's almost like you're making a pizza with this dish. Bear in mind of like where you're placing everything, because it's going to come out of the oven like that. We're going to put some fresh chopped tomato. We're going to put some slivers of jalapeno. And we're going to put some almonds. That's going to give it a nice Spanish feel. And the almonds are going to toast in all this heat and butter. When they come out, they'll be nice and brown. Now I'm going to crank the heat up a bit. We're going to put just a little bit of olive oil. Please make sure it's olive oil. We're going to put salt and pepper. Generous amount. So now it's time to turn the heat up in the pan to get everything going. So we're just going to wait till we start hearing a nice amount of sizzle in the pan. The next step, we're going to do a few things fairly quickly. So we have our booze, tequila, we have our crushed tomato, and we have our butter. And we have lemon, okay? All right, first step, this is the fun part, tequila. So we're going to let that burn off. Don't shake the pan too much, just leave it. It's going to toast all the ingredients. It's going to infuse tons of flavor into the raw prawn. You can already see that everything's starting to sizzle and change color and start to cook. Now that the flame is dying down, we're going to add our crushed tomato. We're gonna add fresh lemon juice, and we're gonna add a lot of butter. You can also add olives, you can add capers, you can add just about anything else you want to it. Now we're gonna take this pan and we're gonna put it in the oven for about 7 minutes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chop a lot of fresh herbs. You can use any mixture with this. For me, I like flat leaf parsley, tarragon, fresh basil, dill, thyme and rosemary are very nice. And we're just going to rough chop it. For me, I like to really see the herbs. I like to taste the herbs. I like the fresh crunch that they have. So I don't chop them too fine. Oh my God. Okay. Oh man, this smells amazing. You can see the butter has just melted. The prawns are cooked perfectly. Everything's nice and roasted, has some color. We're gonna add now a lot of fresh herbs to the dish. My favorite part, some more fresh lemon juice. If you have a grill on, you can also grill the lemon and put it on the side and let your guests do it at the table, which is a really nice touch. I think also we're gonna finish this with some more olive oil. If you wanna cook good, simple, fresh food at home, the most important thing I think is to have very high quality vinegar and very high quality oil. Make sure you invest the extra $5 or $6 in a really, really nice bottle of olive oil to finish your bread and finish most of your pastas and dishes with. It makes a really big difference. So we're going to plate this up now. We've got all the jalapenos and the chunky tomato, and we want all this good stuff here to just sort of spoon over the plate. We got the toasted almonds in here, tequila, and we're going to finish with a drizzle of olive oil, a little more fresh pepper. If you have a glass of wine, then the whole evening's saved. Enjoy.
Cherry red horse, she runs like a dream.
I'm drinking Cipes Brut from Summerhill, and in my opinion, the only difference between this and a nice bottle of champagne is about $250. All right. Cheers.
And we jump right in. Electrical rising in the sunset glow, and the ocean ducks will fly under a cigarette sky. Oh.
And I want to fly with my face turned to